As I've mentioned before, I have been plant-based for almost 11 years, and I wanted to give you a little bit more details about why I decided to go plant-based. I had just had my third child. She was 3 months old, and I decided to stop eating meat. But let's rewind to a few years before that. The first time I went plant-based was not a success. I lasted for about 6 months. And the main reason why I ended up going back to eating meat was because I did not have support and I did not know what to eat. Moving forward to the second time, I was much more successful because my father-in-law was also on the path. He had just discovered Dr. Sebi and his teachings, and so he was there giving me articles, lectures, and just information in general. And it was just nice to have somebody there to go through the process with. And because it was already on my mind previously, it really wasn't hard for me to decide that I wanted to give it another try. At this time, my family members, my husband and my oldest son, were not interested in going plant-based. My almost 4-year-old also decided that he wanted to give up eating animals, and so we did it together. About 6 months later, my husband and my oldest son had their last piece of meat, and now our whole family is plant-based, and my daughter has never eaten an animal, and she's 10 years old. When I first decided to try plant-based, it was mainly because I had previously struggled with anxiety and panic disorder. I was not actively in the throes of all of that when I decided to go plant-based, but thinking about how inhumane commercial farming was to animals and the suffering and depression and stress and fear and cortisol, all the things that are circulating through them during their lifetimes and especially in the end of their lives. Animals are sentient, they have a consciousness, they are aware, even if we want to deny the fact that they are intelligent enough for that to be their experience. With that being the case in my eyes, I was like, well, if that is their state throughout their lives of torture and mistreatment, then I am eating their flesh. These hormones are going somewhere, and I don't think that they just disappear. They have to be absorbed in their tissue, in their flesh, and then I'm turning around and eating that. Could that be contributing to why I feel the way I'm feeling? That was my logic at the time, and I didn't know if it was true or not, but I was willing to consider that it may be, and so I was just ready to be done in case it was. It was nothing that I was harming by not eating meat, but if it was the case and I was continuing to eat meat, then yes, there was harm in that. And eventually, not only was I deciding to go plant-based for myself and my own health, but when I really started to dig deep into what happens in slaughterhouses, I decided that I didn't want to contribute to that anymore either. And so not only was I doing it for my health, I was doing it for the animals, and I was also doing it for the earth. And because I was not in a financial position to go and get a grass-fed cow or whatever it is and have it butchered and to have the highest quality of meat, and I was getting what was commercially available, the antibiotics and the growth hormones and the unnatural feed that they are eating, that just didn't feel like something I wanted to be putting in my body either. So that was another element to why I decided to go plant-based. Another big reason I decided to go plant-based was because I saw this infographic, and if I can find it, I'll attach it in here somewhere, but it was basically comparing our teeth shape. It also compared the length of our digestive system to natural meat eaters and different parts of our anatomy. Looking at our anatomy compared to these other animals' anatomies, ours was the closest to herbivores, and that means that we have a longer digestive tract, we have flat teeth, we don't have claws, we don't have fangs, and these little that does not count. I don't care what you try to say. Like, you can slice it up however you want to, but you're not going to jump on the back of a cow, sink your teeth and claws into it, and take it down to the ground and eat the meat raw the way a real meat eater does. Common questions that I get is, do you eat fish? I do not eat fish. I do not eat anything with a face or a mother. And then another question I get is, don't you miss eating meat? And my answer is, in the beginning, it was tempting, or I would not necessarily miss it because I knew why I was doing it, and I knew what it was doing to my body if I was to ingest it. I didn't miss eating meat, but I mean, it still smells good. It still smells good to this day. So that's not even unexpected, but there's never something that smells so good I'm like, oh, I wish I could try that. No, I'm way past that point in my journey, and at this point, animal flesh is not even a food. If I said I want to eat rabbit, that's like me saying I want to eat a rock or I want to eat paper. Like, animals are not even a food source for me at this point, so it's not even something I consider. Animals are friends, not food. Some of the benefits I've experienced from going plant-based is my skin is so much clearer. I don't get breakouts. I mean, as you can see. No, but for real, people do always compliment me and my family on how clear our skin is. Also, I have so much more energy than I did when I was a meat eater. I wasn't weighing myself down with greasy, heavy, fatty, nasty food. And I just have a lot more energy. I can get a lot more done in a day. I have mental clarity. My periods are so much different. Like, I don't have physical symptoms of my period coming. I don't have cramps. I don't have bloat. Well, I don't really get bloating. From time to time I might, but I hardly get bloating. I don't have cravings, and my periods are much lighter and shorter since I've changed my diet, which is a plus. My bowel movements are more frequent. I used to be the type of person who had hard, infrequent movements. I just don't have those problems anymore because of my diet. And also, I hardly ever get sick. My immunity is A1. That was a big deal a few years ago when the cooties was out here running rampant. I didn't feel like I had to do anything different because I was already taking preventative measures to make sure that my immunity was A1. And so that's another benefit of having this lifestyle, is that if some shit pop off, you don't have to worry about trying to get it together because something is out here and you want to make sure you don't get it. Like, I felt very, very confident that I wasn't gonna get the shit, and as far as I know, I haven't had it, and neither has anybody in my family. But yeah, it was very reassuring for me to know that I'm already in a position to fight it off. Even if I do get it, my body is very healthy and capable, so I don't really have to try to switch nothing up real fast to try to hurry up and get it together. So there's that. So in a nutshell, that's why I decided to become plant-based. I hope you enjoyed this video and learned a little bit more about me. I appreciate you being here. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share. I will see you in the next one. Thanks for being here. Peace.